In this tutorial, I will show you in an example how the app is used in action together with your language helper during preparation and later for practicing. I will not go into every detail. If you want more detailed information about the individual areas, check out the corresponding video tutorials. There is a separate tutorial for each section. In our example session with the language helper, we will learn new words and make some combination exercises and record an image description as well, so you can see how all of this works. During the preparation, meaning before the session with the language helper, I need to create the corresponding flashcards and combination exercises in the app, so that during the session I only need to record the audio. This makes the process very fast. A flashcard in the app has two sides. On one side there is the audio, where the language helper speaks the word, and on the other side there is an image which shows this word. To add new flashcards in the app, there are three options. Either I take a picture directly with the phone camera, or I choose an image from the internal library, or I import an image directly from the phone storage. For the new words, I will use images from the library, and for the plate and spoon, I will take pictures with the phone camera. This way you can see both methods. If I want to create multiple flashcards from the internal library, it is very fast, as I optimized it specifically for this. I simply go from the home screen to the editor. At the bottom, I select the section for creating a new flashcard. There I can choose whether I want images from the phone storage or from the library. We choose the library. At the top, under Favorites, I have already marked the pictures as favorites, which makes them easy to find. Otherwise, I can go to Folders in the top left, or I can also go to All Images and start typing in the search bar, for example, butterfly. Now I can simply select the 4 images I want to use by tapping on them. Then I just need to create the 4 flashcards with a tap at the button at the bottom. In this section, I can also decide whether additional keywords should be added to the newly created flashcards. Of course, I want that. The session I am preparing is Session 5, so I enter 5 as the lesson number and Phase 1 here. I definitely keep the checkbox down below, because this adds the keywords used in the library to the flashcard. Now I tap Save, and at the top I can see my 4 new flashcards with the corresponding keywords, as well as Session 5 and Phase 1. Perfect, that's it. My flashcards are now prepared, and during the session, I only need to record the audio. Now we will add 2 objects from the real world, so we don't use the library, but simply take a photo from the object, the spoon and the plate. I go back from the home screen to Create New and select New Flashcard. Here I do not record audio, but go directly to the Image section and choose the camera. Now I take a picture of the spoon. At the bottom, I just need to enter the keywords. I always name them first by the object, so spoon, and then again Session 5 and Phase 1. If I create multiple flashcards, I can simply copy Session 5 and Phase 1, so I can paste it into the next flashcard. Now I tap Add and Save. Then I can directly tap Create New Flashcard to create the next one. Again, I choose the camera, take a picture of the plate, and enter Plate. Then I paste the copied text, tap Add, and Save. That's it. If I now go back to the editor, I can see the newly created flashcards, the spoon, the plate, and the 4 other pictures. You can see how fast it is to create flashcards. Now we also want to create combination exercises for the session. A combination exercise is a combination of flashcards. This helps me learn the word better because I not only practice the individual words, but also understand them in context. So I go to Create New again and select New Combination Exercise. I leave the audio off again, go to the next step, and now select the flashcards for the combination exercise. The first combination exercise will be the spoon is in front of the plate. So I select the flashcard for spoon, and then the flashcard for in front of, and then plate. The prepositions we did already in another session, that's why they are here. I can see the selected flashcards at the top and go to the next step. Here I again assign keywords so I can find the combination exercise later. I simply name it Preposition and paste the copied text, Session 5 and Phase 1. Now I tap Save and immediately create a new combination exercise. I quickly repeat this for the other 3 combination exercises. Now everything is prepared. In the editor, I can see all newly created flashcards and combination exercises. The image description we will create directly in the live session. You will see in a minute. A special feature in the app is that I can directly create a PDF from my flashcards and print them, because for the session with the language helper, I do not need the flashcards digitally, but physically. This is very easy. In the editor, I enter Session 5 in the keyword search at the top, so only the elements from Session 5 are shown. Then I tap at the top to select all elements and tap Create PDF at the bottom. I highly recommend that if you learn in sessions, you always include the lesson number in the flashcards on the PDF. Since this is Session 5, I enter 5 as the lesson number. This means that every printed flashcard will have a small number 5 in the bottom right corner. This helps me organize and find flashcards later. Now I just tap Export and can share the PDF directly or find it in the Download folder of the phone and can print it. The PDF looks like this, and I only need to cut it out. Of course, it makes more sense to prepare multiple sessions at once. This way, you can print and cut all flashcards at once and do not need to create new ones every day. And now Session 5 is perfectly prepared and ready to start. You can see that the preparation process is highly optimized, so you can create flashcards and combination exercises very quickly. Take some time beforehand to understand the app well so you can work efficiently and quickly. See you in the session with our language helper. Now we come to the live session. We are now sitting together with our language helper and will first learn the new words in a quick dozen and then record them for the app. After that, we will also practice combination exercises together and record those for the app as well. Finally, we will create a picture description. Let's get started with this session example. So, we begin with the quick dozen, where our language helper teaches us the new words.
Das ist der Teller. Das ist der Löffel. Wo ist der Löffel? Wo ist der Teller? Das ist die Öllampe.
Now we have learned the new words and can record them for the app. To do this, I simply long press on the flashcard in the editor, then tap on Edit, and now the language helper records the audio.
Der Teller. Der Teller. Der Löffel. Der Löffel.
Now all flashcards are recorded and we can move on to the combination exercise. Here we combine different words that we have already learned. The language helper will practice these now with us.
Lege den Schmetterling auf den Teller. Lege den Löffel unter den Teller.
Now we can record our prepared combination exercises. To do this, we again go to the editor, long press on the corresponding combination exercise, and tap on Edit. Now the language helper just needs to record the audio for this combination exercise.
Der Schmetterling ist auf der Öllampe.
And now, finally, we will show you how to record a picture description. For this, we look at the busy picture together with the language helper, and the language helper tells us what can be seen. From this, we could also create new flashcards, and then the language helper asks us where different areas are, and we have to tap on them.
Hier ist eine Schaukel. Der Junge ist heruntergefallen und weint. Die Sonne. Die Sonne. Wo ist die Schaukel? Wo ist die Sonne? Wo ist die Person?
Now we need to integrate this picture description into our app so that we can also practice without our language helper. To do this, we go to Create New and then select New Picture Description. Here we can choose images again, either from the phone, from the camera, or from the library. We simply take a photo of the picture directly. Now the language helper marks each area and briefly explains what can be seen there. If you are not yet familiar with picture descriptions, make sure to watch the corresponding video tutorial to understand it better.
Die Schaukel schwingt hin und her. Der Junge ist heruntergefallen und weint. Seine Mutter tröstet ihn. Am Himmel scheint die Sonne.
Now we assign keywords for this picture description and simply name it Playground Session 5, Phase 1. That's it. Now we have created all flashcards, combination exercises, and picture descriptions in our app and can now learn and practice without our language helper.
If you are learning with multiple people in one session, it is important that everyone receives the new elements so that not everyone has to record everything individually. That's why there is a simple way in the app to share elements. The person who created the elements with the recordings simply needs to open the editor. At the top, you can enter the current session into the keyword list. In our case, we type in Session 5. When we now tap the button at the top, all elements from Session 5 will be selected. Now I just need to tap Export at the bottom and then choose Share via QR code. It is important that both the sender and the receiver are connected to the same Wi-Fi network. This can also be done by one person opening a mobile hotspot. It does not even require an internet connection. Everyone just needs to connect to that hotspot. This is important, otherwise it will not work. The other users now simply go into their app settings, then to Backup and Import, and select Import from QR code. Here, they scan the QR code from the sender. Then they can choose whether the received elements should be imported into a new learning language or into the current one. In our case, we want to add them to the current learning language, so we change that setting and tap Import at the bottom. That's it. Now all users have the same flashcards, and everyone can practice individually.
Of course, this was only a short example of what a session can look like. A real session is naturally much longer and includes many more flashcards and elements.
Now you have seen how we prepare everything for the lesson and how we record all the flashcards, combination exercises, and picture descriptions during the lesson. Now it's about how we can practice on our own without the language helper, because that is what the app is mainly designed for and perfectly suited for, since it can tell you exactly whether something is right or wrong and practice the words you don't know well yet. In the app, there are 3 ways to practice. Either I practice the flashcards, combination exercises, or picture descriptions separately and directly. I can do that via the Exercises button. A second option is to practice elements within a specific level of the iceberg. For that, I just have to tap the iceberg and go into one level. But the third and best option is to learn using the practice plan. That's what I will do now. Make sure to watch the video tutorial about the practice plan if you want to learn more about it. If I want to practice using the practice plan, I simply go to the home screen and either tap directly on the practice plan or I tap on the iceberg and then select the practice plan at the top.
Now I can see which flashcards, which combination exercises, and which picture descriptions I need to practice today. Okay, let's do that now. First, I will practice all the flashcards. In our case, there are not very many, but this is just an example. I now hear an audio and have to select the correct card.
Die Person springt. Springen. Pinsel. Der Pinsel.
Great, now I have practiced all the flashcards for today. Normally, this would be around 100 to 300 flashcards per day, depending on how many I have in my app. Now I will practice the combination exercise. Here, I simply tap on the combination exercise and then select the flashcards in the correct order.
Der Mann kommt. Wir springen. Der Löffel ist vor dem Teller.
Very good. Now only the picture descriptions are left for today. Here, I also just tap the button and now practice all 3 picture descriptions.
In der Mitte steht ein Elefant. Links sieht man einen Baumstamm. Links sieht man einen Baumstamm. Rechts sitzen 2 Papageien auf einem Ast.
As you can see, this allows me to learn exactly the elements I need to, very quickly and very efficiently. In my practice plan, I have set it so that elements I often got wrong or have not practiced much yet appear more frequently. But of course, I can always manually choose which elements I want to practice. The big advantage of the app is that I can clearly see how well I know each element. This allows me to focus especially on the elements I am not yet good at and continuously improve my language skills. And I always have everything with me and can stay completely flexible whether I want to practice at home, on the train, or while waiting at the doctor. Everything is always right there in my pocket, and I can share it super easy with friends or colleagues as well. If you are not yet familiar with the app, I highly recommend watching the video tutorials or checking the question mark icon in the top right corner of each screen. There, you will always find the Help menu, where the functions of the current screen are explained. There's a lot to explore. Have fun learning new languages effectively and successfully with the GPA Flashcards app.